You're watching ABC 7 News at 4, starting with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan updating you now on the tropics with Tropical Storm Gordon. Could become a hurricane before long. The next advisory due out in about 45 minutes from now. It is still moving off to the northwest. We have a good radar presentation of the center, and you can see heavy rainfall already moving into the panhandle of Florida right now. That's going to be the biggest concern at this point, and there is going to be some possibilities of power outages near that tightly wound up center. That's where the strongest winds are. Right now they're at 65 miles an hour. They could go a little bit higher before it makes landfall. It still has a little bit of time before that happens later on tonight or tomorrow morning. There it is, about 56 miles southwest of Gulf Shores. It is moving to the northwest at 15. That's the latest from the National Hurricane Center. The visible satellite imagery showing an explosion of storms this afternoon just to the north and east of the center, just south of Mobile, and that again is going to bring some very heavy rainfall. Hurricane warnings are up across parts of Louisiana, also through Mississippi and Alabama tonight. That system is expected to move off to the northwest. We'll have a completed update on this new one coming out, as I said, in about 45 minutes. As far as the rest of the tropics go, we have to keep an eye on Florence, too. There's two different schools of thought here as to where it may go. Some now starting to hint that a high pressure may build north of it and drive it more toward the west. In the future, we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about some big storms still firing up over northwest Bradenton and near Anna Maria Island right now. All that rain pretty heavy, some isolated areas elsewhere. We'll talk more about our forecast coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline Scott.
All right, Bob, thank you. And as Tropical Storm Gordon makes its way up the Gulf of Mexico, people from the Florida Panhandle west to Louisiana are bracing for the winds and heavy rains. This is a live look at the conditions on Pensacola Beach right now, where you can see it's a dark gray afternoon with rough surf kicked up by that storm. Now, in these last hours before Gordon makes landfall, people across the Gulf Coast are rushing to finish up some last-minute preparations.
That's right. In parts of Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, people are filling and loading up sandbags to try and protect their homes and businesses from storm surge and flooding. In addition to sandbags, some are protecting their property by boarding up windows and doors. People also racing against the clock to get everything done before Gordon reaches the coast. Now, some gas stations along the Gulf Coast are also getting slammed. This is video from earlier today in Goshen, Mississippi, where drivers are filling up. Even though we are not in Gordon's path, drivers here on the Sun Coast may want to fill up as well. AAA says gas prices may jump quickly if refineries are damaged or forced to go offline. Last year, when Hurricane Harvey caused refinery outages when it made landfall in Texas, gas prices spiked at nearly 50 cents in just 2 weeks due to the decrease in production. Well, even though it looks like we won't be impacted by Gordon, it is a good reminder for everyone on the Sun Coast to stay prepared year-round. We have everything you need to know about preparing for a hurricane on our website at mysuncoast.com, including a link to our hour-long Surviving a Hurricane special. Well, today marks 1 year since a Sarasota teenager went missing. Jabez Spann disappeared on Labor Day last year at just 14 years old. Scott, where does that investigation stand now?
Well, Jacqueline, the disappearance is still considered a priority case for Sarasota police, but so far they've come up empty-handed. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick joins us now live at 22nd Street and Palmadelia Avenue, where Spann was last seen. And Jess, are there any new leads in this case?
Well, Scott, Sarasota police and the FBI estimate that over the last year, they've received about 100 tips, but unfortunately, they've all led to dead ends. At this point, they're asking the community, even begging them for some more information. Sarasota police say Spann's case is still active after he went missing on Labor Day, days before Hurricane Irma hit. The reward for any information leading to Spann is now $50,000. The lack of information may be fueled by fear. On August 28th, Travis Combs was shot and killed. Police confirmed rumors that Spann witnessed that homicide. He then went missing 7 days later. There aren't any leads in the Combs murder either. The detectives on both cases are consistently sharing information just in case the two cases are linked. Spann's mother, Tawana Spann, thinks it will be the smallest piece of information that will lead to her missing son.
When I was growing up, the police came and, like I was telling you, they gave out candy. We knew the officers' names. There's a gap here, and because of that gap, that information can't be, no one can get the information because no one trusts anyone.
Coming up at 6, you'll hear from these detectives that have been working on this case for the last year. For now, reporting live in Sarasota, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Jess, thank you. And in an effort to get more tips and leads on the Spann case, the Sarasota Police Department is sharing this flyer on the case, reminding people the department is working with the FBI and the FDLE on this case, and that the reward still stands $50,000 for anyone who has information on the teen's disappearance. Police in Largo are sharing a sketch on social media to try to find a man who may have a missing 2-year-old boy. Police say the man is around 26 years old, has gold teeth and dreadlocks, and may go by the name of Antoine. They say he may have information about little Jordan Bellevue. The toddler disappeared after the boy's mother says she took a ride from a stranger in a white Toyota Camry who went by the name Antoine. The mother claims he punched her and knocked her out. When she came to, she was in a wooded area and Jordan was missing. Police say right now they don't have a reason to believe she's lying.
Nothing's changed in terms of how we're investigating this case.
And will she be undergoing a polygraph test?
We have not done that. We haven't asked her to do one. I feel that she has answered all our questions so that we can continue our investigation.
An Amber Alert was issued for the child early Sunday morning. Police are now searching ponds in the area where the mother and the son live. Manatee County Sheriff's investigators do not think a shooting in Bradenton this morning was random, but they are still looking for witnesses or anyone who has information. Deputies say 28-year-old Philip St. Germain was standing outside of his home on 54th Avenue Drive East around 5:30. When two men approached him, St. Germain tried to get in his car to get away, but one of the men fired a round into the window and hit him. St. Germain is expected to recover from that gunshot wound. New at 4, Mote Marine Lab in Sarasota announcing less than an hour ago that it's now caring for a third pygmy killer whale. Earlier today, Mote's Stranding Investigations Program received a call about a beached pygmy killer whale on Longboat Key. Staff immediately went to the area and started treating the animal. The third whale has been nicknamed Bolt and is in critical condition. Mote is already caring for 2 other pygmy killer whales that are stranded in Clearwater last week, nicknamed Thunder and Lightning. Those whales have been getting around-the-clock care. And if you'd like to hear Mote Marine Lab's full press conference on the whale's conditions, you can go to our website, look for this story at mysuncoast.com. Let's send it back to Jacqueline now, who's been monitoring the first day of confirmation hearings for Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, which has been explosive.
Scott, it has been a whirlwind day in Washington. The confirmation hearing for Brett Kavanaugh got off to a contentious start, with Senate Democrats immediately calling for the hearing to be adjourned.
We are rushing through this process in a way that is unnecessary.
Mr. Chairman, we have been denied real access to the documents we need.
Democrats don't have much leverage to stop Kavanaugh's nomination, but they are trying to access presidential records from his crucial time as George W. Bush's staff secretary. Some of those documents have been released, but the Trump administration is withholding another 100,000 pages. Kavanaugh is President Trump's second Supreme Court nominee, and if confirmed, he will fill the seat left open when Justice Anthony Kennedy retired in July. Now, we learned just a few hours ago that former Senator Jon Kyl will be able to vote on Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation. That's because he has been appointed to replace the late John McCain in the Senate until a special election is held at the same time as the November 2020 general election. However, it's still unclear whether Kyl will remain in the Senate through 2020. Today, we're hearing new details about a horrifying boat crash in the Colorado River from one of the women who survived that accident. At least 2 people were killed, 3 others still missing after that accident happened on Saturday night. Taylor Corbino was celebrating Labor Day weekend with family and friends along the California-Arizona border when the boat she was on and another boat collided.
I look up and I see the boat, the other boat, and next thing you know, I'm in the water. The current was so strong, it was moving me around, and all I could think about is get air. I don't know, I can't tell you how long I was underwater, but I know that it was long enough to where I couldn't hold my breath anymore. I actually breathed in some water, and all I told myself was, Taylor, swim to the top to get some air, and I swam to the top.
Police say the boats collided with such force that 16 people were thrown into the water before both boats sank. Investigators have not commented on the cause of that crash.
Coming up, a homeowner's nightmare. A renovation project goes way wrong when a crane crashes through the roof of an Orlando home. Plus, a slipper caper solved. How the FBI was able to track down stolen shoes made famous by Dorothy.
A total of 5 manatees were recovered this weekend in the Venice area with effects of red tide. However, one of those manatees was saved and is recovering because of the help of some vacationers. I'll have that story coming up.
WWSB ABC 7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC 7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
All 2018 Accord inventory is on clearance for just $249 a month. During the Honda Summer Spectacular event, get an Accord, the North American Car of the Year, with tons of standard features. Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, alloy wheels, and a turbocharged engine for less than the competition. Just $249 a month. Or save thousands with 1.9% financing this week at your local Honda dealer.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
Welcome back. The Venice Marine Patrol was very busy over the long holiday weekend, but not with boaters. Instead, they were recovering 5 manatees affected by red tide. Fortunately, they were able to rescue and save one. ABC 7's Rebecca Fernandez joins us live in Venice now with the story. And how were they able to do that, Rebecca?
Scott, they were actually able to save the life of one of those manatees, and it was right here, all because of the help of a group of men who were vacationing here in Venice. They found the manatee while they were taking their boat out of the Venice Avenue boat ramp in the Intercoastal Waterway. They jumped in the water to help Master Police Officer Paul Joyce from the Venice Marine Patrol Unit to keep the manatee calm until FWC arrived. They lifted his head out of the water so that he could breathe and assisted all other emergency responders to get the very large animal out of the water safely and into FWC's rescue truck. The manatee was taken to SeaWorld in Orlando and has recovered perfectly so far. Tonight at 6, you'll get to hear from some of these vacationers who say that this situation was the highlight of their trip because they were able to save that manatee's life. Live in Venice, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC 7, your Suncoast News. Back to you guys.
Rebecca, thank you. New at 4, an update on when the new Anna Maria Island City Pier will be built. Mayor Dan Murphy says construction could start as soon as next month. Now, the old pier was heavily damaged by Hurricane Irma and was demolished over the summer. As of August 31st, the city had reportedly secured more than $3 million for construction of the new pier, with a big part of that money coming from FEMA. Let's send it now to Jacqueline in the newsroom for a developing story on a construction accident in Orlando.
That's right, Scott. Talk about a house divided, quite literally. Take a look at this video. A crane split a home in the Baldwin Park area of Orlando right in two this afternoon, crushing the top of that house. Video from the scene shows a truck toppled over next to the home and the extended crane stuck in the second story. Now that house is in the middle of a renovation project. It's unclear if anyone was home at the time, but officials say no one was injured. The construction company had to bring in two other cranes to lift the other one up and then remove it. Well, a terrifying start to the Washington State Fair. 19 people had to be rescued when a ride called the El Nino malfunctioned yesterday. Take a look at the video where you can see some of those riders stuck upside down when suddenly it stopped working. All 19 were taken off safely in about 10 minutes, luckily. State inspectors now trying to figure out what went wrong. That ride will not be operating until further notice. A memorabilia collector has a good reason to chant, "There's no place like home" today. The famed ruby red slippers worn by Judy Garland and the Wizard of Oz have been found after more than 10 years of searching. The slippers were taken from the Judy Garland Museum in Grand Rapids back in 2005. Someone actually climbed through a window and broke into the display case. The shoes had been on loan from a Hollywood memorabilia collector. The FBI has not said exactly how they found those slippers, but say the Discovery Channel's show called Expedition Unknown helped crack the case. Let's send it back to Bob for a look at our forecast. Bob?
Thanks, Jacqueline. We are watching Gordon approach the coast pretty rapidly, too. Moving to the northwest at 15, it is going to bring some very heavy rainfall. There's a chance it could become a hurricane prior to that. We're starting to see deep convection moving closer to the center. Most of it's to the east of the center right now, the dirty side, if you will, pushing already into the panhandle of Florida. And some of those storms will contain some very heavy rainfall. Some isolated areas could get up to a foot of rain. Most areas will get around 6 to 8 underneath this canopy of high dense cirrus clouds right now, but the actual low pressure center appears to be here, although the deep convection is well to the east in the area of low pressure. Right there you can see the spin, the rotation, still generating some heavy weather. We're starting to see some more lightning around the center too, indicating more storms developing near it, and you can see the rotation and spin right there. With the bulk of the heavy rainfall and the strongest winds just to the east and northeast of Gordon. Now for us, we're not seeing Gordon, but we're seeing this east to southeasterly wind flow, which is bringing some pretty big storms now to northwest Bradenton and into Anna Maria Island. That's where the heaviest rain has been. It's starting to clear out of northwest Bradenton, but another cell has just popped up near downtown Bradenton. Those are all pushing to the northwest pretty rapidly too. A shower just popping up near Osprey. We expect more of these to pop up throughout the next couple of hours and push off to the northwest. All the activity should be winding down though by 9 o'clock tonight with some pretty heavy downpours at times. Now out in the rest of the tropics, we're watching Florence right now. Florence is a storm way out there in the Atlantic and the central Atlantic, and it is becoming a little bit better organized. The forecast path and track, there's two different schools of thought. One is that a trough will pick it up and take it off to the north, then to the east, while another school of thought is that it will miss that trough. High pressure will build on top of it and start to cause it to move more westerly. So we'll see which one wins out. Right now it's not a concern to any land area, but if it stays on a more westerly course, could get a little interesting. Well, look at this. This is the European forecast model. We're taking you through time. The peak of hurricane season, you can tell, is right around the corner, 10th being the peak. There's 1, 2, 3 storms after we get rid of Gordon, and notice those storms all kind of spinning out there in the Atlantic, so not a big concern for us here along the west coast of Florida, but it bears watching. Look, there's another one coming off the coast of Africa. At least the European model spins that up on the peak, and at the peak of hurricane season we could have 4 storms on the 10th of September, which would be pretty typical. The next storm up is Helene. We'll see again what Helene does. Right now we're labeling Gordon as just a tropical storm, but the next advisory is out in about 15-20 minutes from now. Well, 88 degrees at the airport. We have a few clouds around those clouds racing off to the northwest. It feels very hot out there, 96 degrees, and the forecast tomorrow does call for scattered showers and storms. There's a little drier air moving in the mid to upper levels tomorrow, so our chances of rain not all that high, but there'll be a few around in the afternoon and evening mainly. Nationally, of course, high pressure is driving Gordon off to the northwest. It's still situated off the Carolina coast, and that's going to provide us with an east to southeasterly wind flow over the next several days. So we'll stay into that afternoon and evening thunderstorm pattern. Highs tomorrow in Cleveland, 92 degrees there. For boaters, east winds will start off at 10 knots, subsiding to 5 knots and turning to the northeast late in the day. The extended forecast then calling for a little less chance tomorrow, but still there. And then we'll boost it up to 60% chance for afternoon and evening storms right on in through the weekend. And be sure to download your ABC7 weather app. We'll keep you up to date on all the tropical systems that are out there and anyone threatening our area. We provide video updates from our weather center right here at First Alert Weather on ABC7. That is for free. Just go to your app store and go ahead and download that if you haven't already. We appreciate all the folks who have downloaded it.
Right. Well, the southeastern U.S., of course, tracking Gordon. South Japan dealing with the aftermath of a powerful typhoon. Typhoon Jebi made landfall in the early afternoon local time with winds close to 90 miles an hour. At least 8 people were killed. And the strong winds caused storm surge and lashed buildings, even ripping off some roofs.
The typhoon is equivalent to a Category 1 hurricane. Hundreds of domestic and international flights have been canceled because of the storm and the damage as well. According to Japan's KYODO news service, Jebi is the strongest typhoon to make landfall in Japan since 1993.
Thank you. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 4, making science and math fun for kids. This do-it-yourself junk bot works and how it's inspiring future inventors.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Roberts from Suncoast View. Here's what's coming up Wednesday morning live at 9. They are the most requested group on the Suncoast. The smooth sounds of the Gold Tones come to our studio before their upcoming weekend at Venice Theater. We'll have a preview. Plus, getting ready for the Jewish holidays with a Suncoast rabbi. And Finn's at Sharky's on the Pier is in the kitchen. That's all coming up tomorrow morning. We'll see you at 9.
It's hard to see when you're outside at night. It's time for the Atomic Beam Sunblast, the new solar-powered light that's super bright. Atomic Beam Sunblast lets you add a light anywhere, and the atomic solar panels charge the built-in lithium-ion battery quickly. Then the 180-degree motion sensor turns on the light when you get near and automatically turns off when you disappear. Look, here's a best-selling outdoor solar light. And here's the Super Bright Atomic Beam Sunblast. Get the Super Bright Atomic Beam Sunblast for only $19.99. But wait, call right now and you can double your order and get a second Sunblast. Plus our best-selling Atomic Beam Flashlight. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 Atomic Beam Sunblasts and the Atomic Beam Flashlight. Call now.
Call 1-800-431-6640. That's 1-800-431-6640. Or visit mysunblast.com. So call 1-800-431-6640. Order now.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
All across America, there are kids going hungry. It sounds crazy, but it's real. It's also a problem we're fixing. Kids who rely on school meals need help in the summer. That means neighborhood meal sites that are easy to get to and free for every kid. When you make breakfast part of a school day, a lot more kids get the chance to eat. These programs work. Over the past few years, 1/3 fewer children in the United States are facing hunger. Let's make No Kid Hungry a reality.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision, and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
I am JunkBot, your home assistant.
These so-called junk bots may help get more kids interested in science and technology. A company in Dubai has come up with a unique way to engage children's creative side by building functioning robots using recycled materials. The junk bots come with easy do-it-yourself kits that have electronic components and sensors that can attach to practically anything. It lets kids make robots out of things like tissue boxes or maybe an old shoe. And then a software application is used to program the robot from a smartphone. JunkBot's aim is to get children interested in robotics and in the critically important area of STEM education. I think I want one too. Well, we're just getting started here on ABC 7. Jacqueline is in the newsroom now for some of the other stories we're working on tonight.
Scott, a group that provides homes for foster care children on the Suncoast is quickly running out of space. Coming up tonight at 5, we'll take a look at what's being done to meet the growing needs of the Guardian Angels of Southwest Florida. And Gordon and red tide at 6, whether that tropical storm will shift the algae bloom away from the Suncoast and clear up our shores. Plus, 1 year later and very few answers. Tonight at 7, Sarasota police detectives and a cold case specialist will join Alan Cohn to discuss where the Jabez Spans case stands now. Let's send it back to Bob for a final look at our forecast.
Well, if you're heading to the beaches tonight to check out the sunset, should be okay. We're going to see partly cloudy skies. There will be a few scattered showers breezing on through, too. Winds are out of the southeast now at 15 miles an hour, and the storms will be moving about that fast as well. Skies, look for partly cloudy skies, a chance for a few showers. Sunset at 7:47, and it looks like no sunset for the Panhandle. Just a lot of rainfall. Florida going to get hit hard over the Panhandle with some very heavy rain. Could see isolated amounts there, past 8 inches all told, as all that moisture kind of streaming that way. Gordon is racing off to the northwest, but lately the radar imagery is showing more of a northerly turn, it appears. It's about 40 miles southwest of Gulf Shores, and it continues to move off in that direction. So landfall before midnight tonight, it looks like. And then down south where we are, some showers have really been starting to pop up near the coast, near northwest Braden and Anna Maria, as well as right there by Lombo Key. We'll have more on that coming up at 5. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. Thank you for joining us on ABC 7 News at 4. We invite you back in about 30 minutes for ABC 7 News at 5.